How about some actual good cigars?
What?
Name one.
Like,
Out for
for Justice?
Yeah, Marked for Death. Hard to kill.
Is it on
Above the law.
On Deadly Ground.
On Deadly Ground?
No, that was not
On
good.
Deadly Ground is the one where he's a First Nations person from the north.
I think he's Inuit in that. It's supposed to be Inuit.
Inuit, yeah, that's right.
Under Siege 2?
Under Siege 2. I actually prefer
Under
Under
Siege
Siege
on a
2
train?
to the first Under Siege.
It's not on a train, isn't it?
It's dark territory.
Well, you don't like...
Is it because they go through a tunnel?
I don't know.
Why is it dark?
Trains are cool. What the fuck?
well, you don't like... what is it?
Boats are boring.
Two-Face is on Under Siege 1?
Okay, so you guys are kind of driving me crazy.
Hey, it's James. Before we get started, I want to let you know in this episode, we get into the details of this movie. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, I suggest you watch the movie before listening to this. Hello and welcome to Action. My name is James DeYoung, and with me as always is...
Dustin?
John?
And each week we watch a movie to decide where it ranks in our ultimate list of the greatest action movies of all time. This week we watched The Raid Redemption. So?
Saw this movie when it first came out.
Yeah, I think I did too, and I think maybe you're the one who told me about it. I can't remember for sure.
Most likely. Sometimes I got my finger on that pulse.
Yeah.
I think it was just called The Raid when I saw it. I think they added the Redemption.
They added the
later.
Redemption after. The first time I ever heard about it, it was just called The Raid, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's The Redemption is when it came out in America.
America.
Yeah.
Why did they change the name, do you know?
I don't know. I think it had to do with a studio bought the rights to release it in America.
And they wanted it to have
Yeah, I don't know.
more of a title.
I guess.
Who's being redeemed?
There's
The brother? Maybe?
Yeah.
maybe the main character's looking for redemption for his family?
No, I don't think that would make sense.
Well, there's that scene at the beginning with, I'm guessing that's his father, where he's like, bring back.
Bring him back.
Yeah, he's
Bring
looking
him
for.
back.
He's looking to get redemption.
It's all about the father.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not convinced I know what redemption means at this point.
It means killing.
This isn't a dictionary show. This is an action movie show. We don't talk about what fucking words mean here.
Yeah, the name of the movie doesn't make any fucking sense.
Anyway, yeah.
It should just be called The Raid. Fucking ground to level 15. See you there.
That rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know the movie Judge Dredd?
You mean Dread?
Yeah, Dredd. Yeah. The remake or
Yeah, and the
whatever.
one with Carl Urban.
Yeah, that came out a couple years after this, right?
I think it was like maybe a year after, maybe a couple years after.
Yeah. So similar plot is Parker Posey. Is that Parker Posey in that movie?
No, it's Cersei Lannister is the bad.
Oh, that's
is
it.
the villain in that one.
She seems like
I can't think of her real name. Leanne Headley. Headley or something like that.
Anyway, is her name like Mother or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's Mother.
Okay, because I'm watching this movie and I'm like, is the bad guy's name Mother for some reason?
In this movie?
Yeah, in this movie. But I must have been getting confused
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same basic plot idea.
Yeah, it's
stuck in a building.
Yeah.
Going floor by floor.
Yeah. I mean, this movie...
But it's also a pretty enjoyable movie, too, that Dredd movie.
Dredd's pretty good.
Not the Judge Dredd movie with Sylvester Stallone, which we probably should do at some point
Yeah.
on this podcast.
I do not like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
What?
I'll bring that...
That's
That doesn't mean you're not going to be watching all of his films.
You know, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Why?
I'd like to watch Assassins.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio Banderas.
I saw that one in the theater. Yeah.
Is that the one where Antonio Banderas has got like a cast? They're at a funeral, and Antonio Banderas has got like a gun and a cast.
Yeah, sounds right.
I'm piecing everything together from
Julianne
like,
Moore was in it. I don't remember much about it, to be
from
honest.
like commercials from like the 90s.
Assassins, yeah.
But yeah, this movie is much better than what I imagined Assassins would be.
Yes, it is.
I like the. It starts off with like the little tiny training montage.
Yeah, we don't waste too much time. Just show our main guy beating up some dummies and then
and praying a lot.
praying.
This is cool. I mean, center yourself. Yeah. It'd be kind of weird though. Like it. You know, we've watched now Hard Boiled. They. I'm guessing they're Buddhist. They have a little little. What's that thing called?
There's a little god statue thing they pray to, but
in
it's
the, in the police station.
Yeah, but it's a guy that was like he was like a general that people like police officers specifically.
Oh, it was like a saint.
Say prayers to, kind of. I think that's kind of like what it is like.
I'm going to just equate everything to the things that I know. So, like saints, and then Ong Bak. Obviously, he's religious.
He's Buddhist.
Yeah, he's Buddhist.
I don't think Hardboiled. I don't think they're Buddhist, but yeah. Anyway,
they're regardless. It doesn't really matter. And then in this movie, they show him praying and stuff like that, and I just thought like it's just totally normal in all of these movies. It has no impact on their like.
I think it's just to show like the discipline, almost.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Well, and you know, your protagonist is like. He's not just a killer, he's spiritual, you know? Like,
I don't know, I think I've seen movies where the bad guy prays too.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I don't know what it means, I don't know what it signifies necessarily. All I know is that whatever it signifies is much different than if you saw, if Half Past Dead had a Catholic prayer in the middle of it.
Well, you get the impression, I guess, that your main character here, whose name, Rama, is it?
Yeah.
That he's dutiful. He's like a...
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
He's, you know, he's a law-abiding guy.
Yeah, honor. And
Yeah.
I guess I got this... Well, maybe I shouldn't assume, but my guess would be that he's Muslim, because he's Indonesian. Oh. But, you know, I didn't actually... Showing my ignorance, I had no idea this was an Indonesian movie until this time watching it. I think I always assumed it was a Thai movie.
I knew this was Indonesian.
Yeah.
I just... Like I said, I couldn't figure out where that crazy president was from the Philippines. So the entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, just don't look up that mayor. So then I finally looked up, like, crazy president. He's a former mayor. He's president now. Or like, drug-killing president. And then it was the president of the Philippines. Turns out the Philippines, not the most thriving of movie scenes. No. So I was like, can we watch a Filipino movie? And it's like, nah, not really. There was like one that was like gunning a guitar or something like that.
I think I thought it was Thai because of the fighting style. And it's a specific like Indonesian martial art that I've never heard of. I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head. But it looks very similar to the sort of Muay Thai fighting, like we just watched on back not too long ago. It has it's not quite as like elbow.
There's a lot of elbows in this movie.
There is, but it's not quite as like forcing the elbows and the knees as much. But well, you know, there's a lot of knees too.
So the two other well, if you take away the weapons, so the guns and the knives, and you look at just the fighting, the hand-to-hand combat, there's a ton of elbows, and there's a ton of grabbing guys by the leg and fucking throwing them into walls.
Yeah, there
like
is.
4 times, a guy goes for a kick. The guy counters by blocking. No, he grabs his leg, picks him up, and swings him like a sack of potatoes into a wall.
It seems like it takes a lot of energy swinging whole.
Holy shit! Around.
Well, you're just using his momentum to swing him into a wall.
No, you're.
That's what Steven Seagal would say.
Oh.
The one thing I did notice is he straight up just like kills people and you know they're dead. Yeah. And then the people that he just injures, you see them like rolling around on the ground.
I feel like they're going to die eventually.
I know, but it's not like other movies where it's like, I'm just going to punch you and now you're going to play dead, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So...
Yeah.
Right? So it's
or guys that he doesn't completely finish off and he's fighting somebody and then they get back up and they come back into the fight.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, their own men go through the halls just hacking people to death.
Yeah,
So
that leader of the machete group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I guess we should rewind a bit and talk about the basic plot here.
yeah, so the basic plot of the movie is a bunch of cops, what looks to be a SWAT team, pretty much are gonna take down a tenement.
It's like an old grimy apartment building that is
Yeah.
run by
It's gonna
kind of like a drug lord criminal guy.
Yeah, it's like a ghetto
Yeah.
building, like low income. I don't know. Once again, I'm just going to compare it to everything I know. I'm just going to compare it to The Wire. It's just this, like, it's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it's a shabby whatever. But so they're like, yeah, we gotta go to the top floor and get this guy basically. And then
I don't think they know what floor they're going to.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just assume
They're trying to figure it out.
There's a video game sort of element to it where it's like you're going up levels.
Yeah, but it starts off, and this is where I think the real tone of the movie is set, is when they're about to make their initial assault to enter the building, and one of the leaders of one of the captains or whatever police are called gives the signal to take out a guy who's like sitting there peacefully watching TV, and it like garrots him.
Yeah.
And like he's like, oh man, like they just fucking executed that guy.
See, and that I wasn't totally clear on that. It's like, oh, did they garrot him or did they just do that so they could quickly pull him back and without him notifying anyone?
It looks a lot to me like they fucking murdered him.
I think you're supposed to get the impression is supposed to be that they fucking murdered him.
Well, they don't seem to hesitate when it comes to murdering. And like the main guy knifes a million people in the throat or in the head.
And the thing is, I understand at that point, at the point where he's completely under assault, and he's like,
this is before anything has happened.
This is just like it's another day on the SWAT.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna piano wire this guy.
Yeah.
So they make their way in. Before they make their way in, they approach the guy unlocking the gate to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy going in.
Yeah.
A nerd.
Which he shows up later again. But they make their way in, and then I think they start taking people out, like, quietly.
But they don't kill any of them.
They go into a few units and they, like, zap strap their wrists.
And they get up to, is it the third floor?
Yeah,
Or the fifth floor or something?
I have no idea.
So they get up to, let's say, the third or fifth floor. And then there's that hesitation with that one...
The kid.
Yeah, there's a kid
spotter.
Who's like,
yeah.
Well, we don't necessarily know that he's a spotter at that point.
No, he's just some kid.
Not at that point.
No, but
until he runs.
Does he run? Yeah.
Until he runs, and then he yells.
He runs and yells police.
And then there's that other kid, floor up.
Yeah.
Another spotter.
We don't see again.
Yeah.
They let him go. But then I think we're supposed to understand at this point one of the bad guys, who's a cop, who's the top cop, who looks completely out of place.
Yeah, he's a lieutenant, I think.
The guy the guy who's in charge of this SWAT operation.
Yeah, he kills the kid. He shoots through the door.
Yeah, through his neck.
And he shoots him in the neck. And it's like... Then they ascend to the next level to talk to the kid because they see the kid and this other kid's frozen with fear.
He's already yelled. Yeah.
He runs...
To hit the...
He runs through a door around a corner, hits an intercom, says police, and then it's all over. So, this is where I feel there's a real tonal shift in the movie. And I'm not a film expert in any stretch, but I really feel like at this point the movie takes on more of a horror theme. In so many ways than an action theme. It's action. It's definitely action. But I think there's a strong case to be made that there are really, really strong elements of horror.
Well, at this point, okay, so then once that kid hits that intercom, then a bunch of people come out and start blowing these cops away.
Yeah. But
and they're like pinned down by like heavy gunfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie, they're kind of being pursued, so...
They're being hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're also missing the scene
picked off
during all this happening, the introduction to the boss, and him killing.
Right.
Oh,
Killing the.
That happens actually before even.
There's like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah,
in a row.
they go to like the penthouse and we're introduced to.
It's not the penthouse.
Well, the 15th floor, I think.
Yeah, there's reference that there's 30 floors in this building.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so 15th floor is where they're at, I think.
Which is weird that they reference 30, but he's on the 15th. But anyways.
So you meet this guy by seeing him like execute a bunch of people that are on their knees.
4 people. He shoots in the back of the head. 5th person out of bullets.
He uses a hammer.
But I mean, that's right, and that could be the point where it is. But it is like it's kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, it gets pretty hardcore pretty fast. It's not like it's not fucking around.
I see what you mean though by it being a war, because at one point when there's just waves of people coming, I thought like this is like a zombie movie.
Yeah, it's like a zombie movie, but it's also it has like elements of like a slasher film where there's a person who's like just keeps coming, and
there's like a relentless force that's dwindling them down.
Yeah, and like people are moving. Like the characters are moving from room to room and hiding, and people are getting hacked to death. And it's like the tension in this film is just like I think the filmmaking is like fucking amazing. The tension is insane. With like the camera work with the shaky cam and the way that the camera like follows the action, the decisions they made for like how the camera moves. And I'll get to specifics later on, but like it's so kinetic, and you're so with the characters. I think that it leads the viewer to feel like they're being followed, they're being hunted down.
Well, because I think they filmed it with like handhelds.
Oh yeah, what makes sense?
They wanted it to be like a documentary style.
Oh yeah.
So they wanted it to be really. So with the handhelds, they wanted so that they could quickly move. That's why it's so shaky at points.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that the horror elements, but yeah, you make a good case for that.
Yeah, if you'll watch it again, and next time you watch it, like just think about it like a horror film instead of an action film, and just like watch how all the beats happen and like how the characters would feel, and just think about it like, what if it was like a monster instead of this mastermind? And I think it just fits right in with that.
Then that boss guy, he also gets on the intercom to tell everyone in the building, hey, the cops are here, and I'm willing to. You can live here for free forever if you contribute to like helping take out these cops.
Yeah,
but there's a pretty cool scene. It's as soon as he hits that button and the cops show, he knows the cops are there. He says he has his 2 lieutenants, Mad Dog, and what we later find out to be
what's his name?
Rama's brother.
Yeah, Rama's brother.
Tama?
Yeah, that's like a
Tama.
Rama. Is it Rama and Tama?
That's a surprise.
No, Tama is the
spoiler alert.
Yeah, Tama. Well, this entire let's just be honest. Once again, this entire podcast is a spoiler alert.
Yeah, we
Tama
really
is the bad guy.
At the beginning of every episode saying,
"Oh, Tom is the bad guy."
Yeah, Tom is like the number 1 bad guy.
Oh, okay. Who's the brother?
I don't know. I'm clicking through things. He says, "Let's call our friends, or let's call our neighbors." And the next thing you see is you just see these 2 dudes walking.
It's Jacka.
Jacka?
Okay.
Oh, so Jacka. Okay. So you see these 2 dudes with the snipers start picking cops off.
Well, yeah,
because
he
they're
says
outside the building, right? And they kill the cops that are waiting in a truck, in the SWAT truck outside.
Yeah,
and they start sniping guys through windows and stuff.
Because the boss says, "We have company. Call the neighbors," which is the snipers, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why you have you kind of tying into the whole horror thing. You have these different okay, we got the snipers, and then we're gonna get the next group. And so it's like the zombie aspect of all those people coming. That's one.
Yeah.
The snipers is another, and then
but
you're just gonna.
Well, you also have the maniac the maniac killer, the unkillable force, which would be Mad Dog.
Yeah, Mad Dog.
Yet again, we've got a Mad Dog.
Another Mad Dog.
Who's the right-hand man, who is like a crazy badass.
What was the other
but
one?
also has sort of like a...
Hard-boiled.
Also has kind of like... Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Also has kind of like a code of honor, though.
Oh, very much so.
You know?
Yeah.
Same with the Mad Dog and Hard Boiled.
So, with the before we get to Mad Dog, with the waves of people coming, and like like it starts off with like using guns, and then it moves to like more handheld machetes and knives.
Once they've kind of like used up their weapons and they've been trying to escape and they've kind of lost their weapons, then it goes to handheld.
So the other movie I thought of
hand.
in this was Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah,
where it's just wave on wave, like they're just
yeah.
moving from like one thing to the
Yeah.
next to the next, right? And it was just like there's just always something more coming.
So it's kind of like the whole horror, but it also like what you said, like a video game with the floors. That's kind of like Snowpiercer, like that too.
Yeah,
it's like, kind of a fun thing in a movie because it's like you're sort of just watching this progression and like now what's the next part? Like we're gonna go from this part to this part. And
you know what I just realized? Snowpiercer would make the most amazing side scroller.
Yeah, could be a good side scroller. Yeah.
But yeah, like it reminded me of that. Like, it's just a really good movie. I mean, I really like to get ahead of myself here. I think this is such a great movie.
Yeah, well, it's definitely enjoyable.
But we haven't even got to like the first real,
fight,
big scene, which I would call the hole in the floor scene.
Oh yeah, so they kind of back themselves into one of the apartments.
Yeah.
And then the doors getting like shot to shit, and they've put some stuff to barricade the doors, but those guys are gonna get through, so they start like using a hatchet to like go through the floor into the apartment below them.
And at this point, like a dozen cops have already been murdered.
Yeah.
All the cops outside and
There's
killed.
really only like a handful left already at this point because they've all been.
And one of the guys starts breaking a hole.
Oh, I think it's Rama.
Is it Rama?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Rama starts breaking the hole. He just grabs an axe, and everything's so fucking cool about it. The way like he's like asks for the axe, and even the way he throws an axe. The other guy throws an axe. It's like that's not real. Like if somebody threw an axe at me like that,
fuck, why are you throwing an axe at me?
I would like run the other direction. But he starts like going to town.
Safety first.
Yeah, he like stomps on the floor to see where where
the
like a weak
spot is.
Because he's like, I know these old buildings. He's like, speak to me, floor. And he finds the weak spot and he starts going. And meanwhile, people are getting sniped in the fucking eyeball.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I like is a movie that's, like kind of like a bottle episode, but I guess it's a bottle movie, or I don't know what you call it when it's a movie, but just like a one location really, and people are trapped, and I guess it goes back to like Die Hard even, like, it's one, there's people trapped in a location and they somehow have to work their way through it.
Yeah, I mean, we watched, you watched it, I watched it separately, but like Free Fire came out this year, and it was the same kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is in one
location,
place,
like one. That's just in one wide open building, pretty much.
Yeah,
and there is something. It seems like it would be so hard to do to make that work,
make it compelling.
And when they make it compelling, when they make it work, it just feels like so satisfying.
Yeah,
you're like.
I almost always like it when they do this. I mean, if they do it well, anyway.
If they do it well, it's just like. Good for you. Yeah, that seemed really fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I mean, even this is more complicated than something like Free Fire because this has a bunch of different floors.
Free Fire is literally like a couple of cars.
Here's
and
a warehouse.
crates.
Here's a warehouse. Yeah. Yeah. Where are we at? I guess. So we're about to get into like the first real hand-to-hand combat.
And this is, again, we're going to have the same problem we had talking about, like, Ong Bak, where it's like...
how do you describe these moves?
Yeah, it's just insane. It's
insanity. I mean, I could just pick out, like, really good scenes and fight sequences, but, like, where they are, I can't it's hard to remember what comes first.
There's this cool part where he grabs a guy's head and spins him around and slashes the back of his throat.
Yeah.
You should just watch the fucking thing.
So
this
has one of my favorite camera shots in the entire film. When the cameraman jumps through the hole with a guy.
I remember that.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so there's this, people are starting to jump through.
Yeah, jump
the
from
hole.
above.
And as when one guy jumps, the cameraman jumps with the guy, right behind him, and it's so visceral. Like, it feels like you're going through that hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that was pretty cool. Like a pretty cool little touch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're getting attacked from the guys. Like the guys from above have come through the door and are jumping down.
Well, they're not quite through yet because then they was it Rama?
No, I mean from above though.
Oh, above, yeah.
Yeah, because they jump down below, and then you can hear them get through upstairs.
But before that, Rama, he propane tanks.
Well, because guys come down to that level and start trying to get in that door.
Oh, okay.
So then they move. Yeah, he puts that propane tank. I guess.
Oh, that's in the next level. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then kills them all, and then goes back up.
Uses it as and he throws a grenade in there with it.
He throws a grenade, and he's like, when I open the door, turn it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Because in that sequence, so there's people jumping down through the hole and they kill them, but then they come down to that level and start trying to come through the door. Then he blows up the propane tank in the fridge. Then they're all dead, so he's got a little bit of time, right? Yeah. That's when they split.
Yeah, that's when they turn into different
because then the two guy, Rama goes up.
Yeah,
with the injured
guy, and the lieutenant and the captain or whatever,
and then another guy are going another direction, and that's when we get the introduction to the machete gang.
Yeah, well, so Rama takes a guy who just got a bullet to the ear. He got shot a couple times.
Yeah, he's limping.
There's his ear is pretty much blown off, and he's got a bullet in his hip.
Yeah.
And he's limping, and he takes. Oh yeah, that makes sense now. Because then they take him to the professor's house.
Is he a professor?
I don't know. I don't have
because he has glasses on. He's a professor.
I think in the movie, if I remember correctly, they call him the old man.
Do they? He doesn't even look particularly old.
They don't call him the old man.
I think at one point he says we're going to the old man's house.
The old man's house?
You didn't remember the camera transition. So
who's to
say? So who's to say? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he said the old man's house.
I don't remember that.
And I was like, oh, they look the same age, but that could have just been in my head.
They just kept saying
he's
the
older,
room
he's
number.
5 years older or something.
Okay, either way, they take him to the professor. I'm going to call him the professor. This is going to be a running thing in every episode.
Professor.
In every episode, I'm just going to come up with names for side characters based on their attributes. So they take him to the professor's house, and he is reluctant to let them in. He has a sick wife. And
he doesn't want any trouble.
Well, he does. He doesn't want trouble, but he feels. It seems like he feels morally
he's
responsible.
Conflicted. He's standing there at the door, do I let them in? Because if I let them in, there's a chance, my wife will be in danger.
And the wife
but
is
if I don't, then I'm kind of a piece of shit.
The wife is like, fuck no.
Yeah, but he doesn't listen to his wife.
No.
Can he good husband?
Yeah. So then they get in there, and then he's like.
He right
hide behind
this faux wall.
That
is obviously everybody. It stands out as a fake wall.
Yeah, which the head of the machete gang is
like, what the fuck is this shit? He's like, where's this fake wall coming from?
Why does this guy have a fake wall?
So here's my logic is that lots of rooms have lots of things like fake walls and fake things because. The cops raid all the time.
Like a drug stash building or whatever.
So the cops raided all the time, and this is where... I don't think they were hiding Jews during the war or anything. I think this mostly comes down to drugs with fake walls and stuff like that. But you get, once again, crazy tension, akin to horror, when the head of the machete gang starts...
sticking his machete through the wall.
And that's a pretty fucked up scene.
Yeah.
when he gets the machete to the cheek.
Yeah, it goes through the wall and slices the side of his cheek, and he's trying to be quiet in the wall. He's got his hand over the mouth of the guy.
He's cut. He's cut. He's got a machete like embedded in his cheek, and he is quiet, and he's keeping the other guy from screaming. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, and then he puts his hand on the machete to wipe the blood off when he takes it out.
Oh, that's what that was.
So that there's no blood on it.
I was watching that. I was like, I wonder if he's going to see the blood. And then I was like, oh no, there's probably like old blood all over that thing.
He's butchered.
But then that makes sense.
Because I was butchered lots of people with that.
Yeah, I was wondering why. I'm like, why is he touching? Is he taking? Is it hurt or something like that? But that is
so you get the camera sequence.
way
but you don't
cooler.
get that.
No. Oh. Yeah. No. I'm not that smart.
One thing I think is always funny in these kind of movies is like, you know, however many there's like guys that are making drugs in one room that they end up fighting with and stuff.
Once again,
Yeah, which is like a warehouse floor.
Once again,
Yes.
no masks.
Yeah, but yeah.
There's cocaine. If it's cocaine, I don't know.
I always think it's funny though. It's just like, oh, this guy is just some guy that like works putting whatever he's doing something in the lab, but all of them are like skilled modern martial artists. Everybody he encounters.
I thought about that too, and I'm like,
fight like
is it
motherfucking Bruce Lee?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, is it racist for me to think that all Asian people are martial artists?
We've been taught to believe this.
Because I feel like this movie is teaching me that. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, like if you watch a North American movie, every fucking dipshit, every white dipshit is like a pretty skilled bare knuckle boxer. You know, like he's every white guy's a brawler, at least.
I feel like anyone could be a brawler though. Not everyone is like throwing down fucking all kinds of blocks and
incredibly skilled.
Yeah, and skilled with a gun.
Because, you know, even though the main guy is a badass and he beats everybody, he doesn't do it easily. Like every single person he fights, it takes work for him to like put them down.
And this goes back to the like. I'm once again, I'm not that well versed in like Asian cinema, but like to me, the diehard mentality of the vulnerable
like somehow
hero.
He squeaks through, and he's he is a fucking badass, but he's not invincible. He can be injured. He can be fucked up.
And that's what's so great is like when you think that your hero can be hurt. Then it raises the tension and it raises the stakes because you're like, oh wait a second, there are only X amount of bullets in that gun. He can get hurt. He could become unable to protect himself, and you're much more,
or at least unable to protect like the guy that he's helping or whatever.
Yeah.
I think
we also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think we're missing probably one of the best action sequences, and there's probably not even that much action. Well, there is a lot of action in it. It's when they turn the lights out, and the SWAT team is like huddled against the wall on either side of a door, and then there's the guys on the floor above.
Oh, that's like at the very beginning. That's the very first action sequence.
That's not the first action sequence.
Isn't that when they get shot? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that's when they start shooting them.
Is that like the first action?
I think it's
sequence?
like the beginning of it, the action. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that scene is like amazing because they're just waiting.
Yeah, there's like
they're both
like
waiting.
A moment.
Oh, that's
because it's like pitch black.
Yeah. So then the
then
only reason they see
one of them shoots
is because the guy shoots and the flare.
Yeah. So the camera shots in that is just remarkable because it lights it up for a second and then they just start shooting like crazy.
And once again. It's like they're lit and they have like these like long shadows, almost look like wolves. Like when that's what I was thinking when I saw them, and they look like they look vicious and mean, and like there's like all this. Maybe I'm reading way too much into everything, but I just feel like all of this stuff was done on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't notice any like wolves or anything.
No, they're not wolves. I don't mean it like that.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't think there's literal wolves in there. No.
I didn't get like.
What I meant was that they were
crashed.
hunting, and like they felt like it felt like there was like this. There was. Well, I don't even know.
The Grey?
Yeah.
The Grey. Well, we have got to go back to talking about Jacka, because we don't at this point we haven't learned that he's Rama's brother. He goes down in the building. He's sent down by the boss.
Yeah, so this is about to happen. So after the hiding in the wall cheat cut scene, they leave, and the next scene, I believe, is the elevator ride down.
Right. So
With
Mad
Jacka.
Dog and Jacka go their separate
They
ways.
go their
but
separate
they both
ways.
Go to good.
But
to
you do get the impression that these two lieutenants
don't like each
Well,
other.
they don't like each other, and they have different ways of handling.
Yeah, Mad
things.
Dog is like the more direct approach.
Yeah.
And Jacka's like the planner.
Well, Jacka says at one point,
Strategist.
he's like, "What the fuck are we doing?" He's like, "You don't kill cops, you buy cops."
Yeah. He's like the brains.
Yeah, and nobody and Mad Dog doesn't trust him because he's smart.
Mad Dog just fucking
Mad
punch
Dog-
motherfuckers in the
Mad
face.
Dog was born to be a criminal, and he just knows how to smell weakness.
Alright, so then Jacka goes in the elevator with like two
Dipshits.
Two dipshits.
Two fucking
Two guys are sent with him.
Yeah, so like Mad Dog sends the dumbest two fuckers in the crew, because everybody else seems incredibly skilled and alert, and he's with like the dumbest people in this
Well,
elevator.
they don't have any reason to think that,
No.
that like one of the top guys in
They just look dumb though. The one guy's just like, I mean, like, they're
Well, anyone looks pretty dumb with a knife in their neck.
well, what happens to the first guy? The guy on his right gets.
Well, he sees the knife and he's like, "Why?" That's what
Yeah.
he says. He says, "Why?"
Yeah, because he slips a knife into his hand in his right hand, and he's like,
and then the
holding it
guy
up.
looks and he's like, "Why?" And then he kills him.
Yeah, and then the next guy gets like attacked. He puts up a little bit of a block at least, and then he's fucking toast.
Yeah, so then we're like, oh, this guy just killed his guys who's like on his team.
Yeah,
And then, but he meets up with Rama somewhere.
that was later. That's way later on. After
it's not long
I don't
after
think it's that far after.
well,
that.
it's
He goes to he like does that so he can go see him.
Because he leaves the injured cop in that room, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah, he leaves him with the professor.
With the professor. And then he goes.
There's a fight in between though. There's the hallway fight number 2.
Is it the
Yeah.
hallway fight where he like
This is
kills
before-
the
this is
guy
before
on the broken door?
Yeah,
He drops that guy's neck like
So
a broken bone.
it starts off. So this is the fight where it starts off with him throwing a guy. So it's got that cool. It's a genius, like I think, decision is like the setup of like the center of the apartment is just
It's a good, yeah.
It's just
empty.
open?
It's open.
Yeah.
So he throws that guy
Yeah.
off the fucking floor to go down the hole, like down the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't though.
He
He
doesn't
goes
go down
too
the middle.
far and he lands on his back
on the wall.
on
like the
the
pony wall or whatever.
Yeah.
It goes around the.
and I was like, oh
breaks
shit.
his back by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty great.
And then he fights the guy with the I called him the Rasta guy with the flying knees.
Yeah.
Like this this Indonesian Rasta guy with like dreadlocks
Oh yeah.
that
and
comes
he's also,
at him.
He's also fighting machete guy at that.
That he
Is-
fights the
yeah, the
machete.
machete crew.
This is where he fights the machete gang.
Yeah.
And the Rasta guy comes at him with the flying knees. And I was like, that was pretty.
That's one of the guys he throws by the leg into the wall in the
Yeah,
corner.
that was pretty fucking cool.
And then he jumps with the machete guy through the window, and they fall like quite a ways and land on one of the.
Oh, that's at the
Exit
that's at the
stairs.
end. But what James was talking about is one of the most brutal deaths in the entire movie when he fucking grabs a guy
Where he like
by the head
stunners
and they
him.
both exactly he stunners him and
RKOs him kind of.
Yeah.
a stunner would be like I'm pantomiming a stunner at this point. But he like grabs the guy and comes down on a jagged edge of a broken, cheap interior door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. It's definitely a highlight.
That was fucked up.
Also in those fights, which is pretty cool when he has the knife, and he's stabbing guys or whatever. But like a guy like does a kick and he kind of like dodges it, stabs the guy in the leg, but he doesn't just stab him in the leg. He then moves. Then he rips the knife up.
I have
before
that.
he pulls it out.
I have that in my
He
notes.
does that multiple times where it's like, well, that guy can't use that fucking limb.
He's
anymore.
definitely brutal with his techniques. Like he just. Yeah.
I have that in my notes of the like, oh no, they don't. Like, he doesn't just stab him once. Often he stabs people multiple times.
Yeah, or
Like
does that ripping,
and he'll do a
Yeah.
rip, which comes into play later, in a very huge way.
Yeah,
But he like stabs and rips. And what's the isn't it like that Nick Cage superhero Kick-Ass?
Oh, Kick-Ass.
Is that the one where it's like he teaches you to stab and twist?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's in Face Off too, though.
Is it in Face? Oh yeah, it's in Face Off. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
It's Face Off. He teaches.
Gives her a switchblade and he's like,
he stab and twist because it
like
opens
if a
up
guy
the
ever
wound.
tries to,
That's right. And that's what I was thinking of. I was like, yeah, that's what you do. And it's so stupid. Like, I'm never going to be in a situation where that happens. Where I'm always like, fucking stab
and then twist.
because you don't want it coming after you, blood loss. But the knife work. So the guns are kind of slowly transitioning out of the movie at this point.
Yeah,
And
not seeing too much
machetes
guns
and I don't know what different kinds of knives are called. Tactical knives
tactical combat. I don't know.
are making a pretty big impression.
Yeah,
And guys are getting stabbed a lot.
a lot of stabbing.
Oh, so much stabbing.
Yeah.
So what happens after he goes through the window with the guy? They fall and they land on the stairs, and then he gets shot at and he rolls.
Yeah, so then there's this dream walk down the hall.
Oh yeah, because he's fucked.
He
up.
has like this he's concussed, and he like kind of like stumbles down the hall, and then his brother grabs him.
Right, and then they talk, and we learn Jacka is his brother, and he left their family, and because he was pissed off at his dad. I don't know. It was like, it's not super detailed. It's just like, oh, come back. You should come back to the family. He tells him he's having Rama tells him he's having a kid.
Yeah, and he's like,
gonna be an uncle.
Did you tell me that because you thought that I would care, or something like that?
That'll make me come back.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He's like, no, I told you because you're my fucking brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he just says, like, Jacka just says, like, this is what I'm good at. This is, like, the life.
Yeah, he's like, this is what I'm suited to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this, I have something called old man confrontation.
Oh, that's in your notes?
Yeah.
Old man confrontation.
Old man must do something.
Well, we are missing the part where the cop argues with the...
There's a captain and a lieutenant.
Yeah, the lieutenant argues with the captain. No, he's
Yeah.
not a captain.
Yeah, the captain is
whatever it is.
the white guy. Well, he's not white, but
The
he's got
guy
white
who has
hair.
arranged the SWAT, we find out that
That nobody knows they're there.
He hasn't made anyone at the police force aware that they are there. This is like a covert
Call for
deal.
backup.
And it's because it's not an actual police mission. He is working for other criminals to try to take out this particular criminal, their competition.
Yeah, and then they split up. Then that smaller group splits up. There's 4 of them.
Yeah,
The old man stays with some peon.
Yeah,
Because before we find out that Rama and Jacka are brothers, or kind of at the same time, that's when Mad Dog
gets in a fight
Lieutenant.
That's just after this.
Yeah.
So after they split up, then they have the...
Mad Dog has a drop on him with a gun. But
this is called the Guns Are for Pussies fight.
Yeah, and then he takes his gun and he's like... He puts it aside. He's like, I don't like these.
And
he has like... Yeah, he has his like line that he says. I think it's like...
This is where the pulse is?
Oh, no. Pulling a trigger is like ordering takeout.
Yeah.
And then he says something about this is where the pulse is, like fighting hand to hand. And then we find out he's a fucking badass.
Yeah, exactly. This is where we find out...
He's like a little dude, too.
Yeah.
He's smaller than this lieutenant guy.
Yeah, well, there's actually
particularly big either.
there's several scenes where you see the perspective where Mad Dog is pointing a gun up at people.
Yeah, because he's not.
Because to show, like, he is not a big dude.
He's just a crazy motherfucker.
He fucks this guy up.
Yeah. And it's a cool fight, too.
It's a great fight.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to say? It's great.
Hey, you guys, you know what's cool with this fight? It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. He does the wall run in this point. He does the guile.
Yeah, and then at the end when he like full on charges him and like whips him around to the ground and
then he breaks his neck.
Then he breaks his neck, and then he drags him through the hallway.
That was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Him breaking his neck was like.
Well, and he's like fighting to like stop him
from
breaking his neck.
He's again. He's like reaching up and stuff, and it's like, oh. Yeah, there's a couple parts that
escape.
There's a couple parts in this movie where I was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of hard to watch." Like it
got real.
Shit got real a couple times, and I found myself wondering what I was doing. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm watching this like fucking super cool Indonesian movie."
So then he's dragging him through the hallway, and he meets up with.
Yeah, with Jacka.
Jacka at the elevator, I guess, waiting to go up.
Yeah, back up to see the boss.
See the boss. So then we get the scene where they're at the boss, or in front of the boss, and Mad Dog says, like, this is, I don't know, because I think Jacka says, that's the wrong guy.
Yeah, so I don't understand that. What's that all about?
What?
Like, why is he the wrong guy?
Because they're looking for...
They're looking for Jacka?
They're looking for Rama.
Or Rama?
Yeah.
Why are they looking for Rama?
Because they saw him on the camera.
He could see him on the camera, like...
And they were like, oh,
kicking the shit out of people.
Okay. I was like, he's the rookie. And they're like, that guy is the one that's like the badass?
Well, is he a rookie?
He's the rookie.
He's a rookie, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the rookie.
I wasn't clear on that.
They refer to it a few times, like these are just a bunch of rookies.
They say that, but I wasn't sure if they were talking specifically about Rama.
There's actually a specific point where they talk about Rama and another person, and they refer to, I forget what they say it's somebody, and you know what they're talking about, the one guy and the rookie. You know they're talking about Rama.
Okay. Well, he's pretty goddamn good for a rookie.
Well,
Speaking of rookies,
I'm going to be honest.
We should do the rookie with Clint Eastwood and Charlie Sheen.
I think we should do a rookie double feature. The rookie with that kid.
Rookie of the year?
Yeah, who can throw a baseball really well.
Who later went on to be in American Pie?
Is that the... Oh, I thought he was the one that ended up in jail. Who's the kid...
Oh, maybe he ended up...
Who's the kid that was
in American Pie movies?
Who's the kid that was in... A Bronx Tale that was in a Disney movie. Angels in the Outfield?
Oh, Christ, I don't know.
That's a different podcast.
Hey, we start doing baseball
remember,
movies.
You know A Bronx Tale?
Yes. I
Yeah,
don't remember, though.
That guy ended up in jail.
Sweet.
All right.
Child actors, where are they now?
That was your child actor moment. Brought to you by Pablo? I don't know. Kids eat
Big League Chew.
fruit.
Big League Chew, yeah.
Oh, Big League Chew.
What? You just...
Oh, that's a funny story.
That
Big
is a
League
funny
Chew.
story. Big League Chew.
Just like start free associating.
Yeah.
Big League
You know where
Chew.
that
The
makes
Battered Bastards of Baseball. You ever watch that documentary?
No.
It's a Netflix documentary.
Oh, yeah. I think and you either were telling me about it.
That's a fucking good documentary. Anyway,
I don't think
everybody
I've seen it.
Everybody who will one day listen to this, Battered Bastards of Baseball,
Big League Chew.
wait for the Big League Chew moment. You don't see it coming because really, why would you?
Okay.
So they're in front of the boss, and Jacka says, "I told you it wasn't the guy."
Yeah.
And
the
then,
boss is like, "Show me your hands."
And then Mad Dog said, "Well, at least I didn't come empty-handed." And then the boss says, "You wouldn't waste my time. You wouldn't come back empty-handed." And then he says like, "Show me your hands. Let's see. Where is it? Is it here? Is it there? Oh no, there's nothing in your hands."
Why is the boss's shirt so dirty?
He's a grimy guy. He's living in a fucking grimy building.
Oh, come on. I mean, he's the boss. At least he can have a fresh shirt.
I know, but I like it because it shows that he's just such a grummy, just a...
Well, I mean...
He's a
scumbag. He's got a great face.
He does. He's a great bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first time we see him, he does kill 4 guys with a gun and then beat someone to death with it. With not even, not the blunt part, the part he has to claw, he's to, rip back out of the skull.
So this is a little bit weird to me because Jaka is a smart guy, we are led to believe before this. And he didn't come up with anything to tell the boss when he went back to see him?
I don't know, maybe he's not...
Couldn't have made some shit up?
Yeah.
Well, he said, all he said was, "I just found bodies."
Yeah, but...
That's all he said.
He didn't come up with anything to tell him, I got some intel.
But maybe he did, but it's he gets thrown off because the boss already knows, and he's like, "I'm in deep shit."
Well, because then he shows him the video. Well, he grabs his... Does he grab his hand?
Yeah,
and then he shows him the video.
He grabs his hand, he stabs him in the hand. Yikes.
Yikes.
That would hurt.
Ow, wow, wow.
Ay, ay, ay.
I wouldn't want to work for that guy.
I'll tell you
What
this.
a jerk.
If I saw... Here's the thing. He should have known this was coming based on the first scene we saw with him, where he literally, like I just said, executes 4 people and then beats someone with a...
He's a reasonable man. He'll be all right.
I always do love that part, though, in movies when, the second, third in command are just, so nonchalantly chilling while, a fucking war crime is happening in front of them. They're just like, yeah, it's fucking Wednesdays, right? You know? What do those guys do, you guys want to go for, burritos after this? Or what do you eat after that?
I don't know.
Well, I think the boss is eating noodles.
What's popular in Indonesia?
I don't know. Indonesian food.
Why are you so ignorant? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ate Vietnamese yesterday. It was delicious.
Sweet. So anyway, so they they throw Jack in a room. Oh, I guess
we don't know that
yet.
yet.
That till later.
No. Now there's just a whole bunch of exposition.
What's happening in that? What do you mean?
You're finding out a lot of stuff. People are just... histories are being told about. I don't know. People are talking about a lot of shit.
Who's talking about what?
What?
Yeah. Well, it's in my notes. It says...
Well, that must be true.
Okay.
Guns are for pussies fight.
You gotta think about an old man.
Throw into closet. Wall run. And then exposition. And then it's chemical fight.
Exposition. Well, the exposition was the knife through the hand scene.
Oh,
I think there's something after that, though.
So then it goes to Rama meets up with the captain and the other guy, and then they do the chemical. They have the chemical fight.
Chemical fight.
And then after that, they're running through a hallway or stairwell, and then he notices the one door where somebody's getting beat up.
After they beat up the dudes in the drug lab, then another great scene, of course, because all the fight scenes are great.
Chemical fight's pretty good, though. We should talk about that. That's where you really see a lot of the knife work. There's a lot of stabbing in that.
Yeah. There is a lot of throat slashes and good fun like that.
He picks up a guy with a leg.
You should watch this movie with your children.
Yeah, I'm sure John did.
My kids were sleeping.
If you want your kids to
sleep, no, my kids
throat slashing early,
it's not
just
true.
To get them used to it.
No. I watched most of the movie with my kids from here. And then they did come home.
Really? Because I'm sure... I asked Cohen.
Cohen did watch part of it.
And I said, Cohen, did you watch the movie with your dad? And he said, yeah. I said, what was your favorite kill scene? And he couldn't... He was like, I don't know.
Even think of one.
He couldn't think of one.
What's wrong with your kid?
Because he was in the room.
He's got no respect
he was in
for
the
this
room.
movie.
Well, he was like...
He hadn't taken any notes.
He was in an adjacent room, but he had full view of the television. He was just watching something else.
I think I just expect more out of your son
like,
at this age.
Stop watching this Peppa Pig.
No, he was watching Peppa Pig.
And watch this guy get his throat
I think he was
slashed.
watching Ninjago or something.
Oh, Ninjago, sweet.
Yeah, that calmed down.
No
Okay.
respect.
Ninjago is like training camp for like future
Ninjas?
No, it's for like future the Raid fans.
Oh, okay.
Like watch Ninjago when you're four.
Start with Ninjago.
Start with Ninjago and then work your way up to the Raid. That's pretty valid.
Yeah.
So we're coming close to the end here. So then, so...
Well, there's chemical knife fight.
And then Rama...
Yeah, and then he goes into the room where his brother is.
Jack getting beaten up by Mad Dog.
So Mad
Stand
Dog...
up.
Yeah, Mad Dog...
Mad Dog does the right thing, lets him down.
Lets him
off the chain.
down.
But everybody just knows.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, okay, let him down.
Alright,
And then he pulls the chain back up, and then he
Takes
kind
some
of...
time, lets him get his hand
Yeah,
cuffs off.
and then he uses hand
Yeah,
gestures
he's
to
like-
push him aside so that he can go
gestures
into the
to
middle.
them, to move.
And they both know to like take a stance.
Yeah, okay.
Because if somebody came to me,
Yeah, and fight.
if we're brothers, if you and I were standing side by side, and somebody went and made the split, like the Moses move, like part, I'd be like, oh, he's leaving. I wouldn't be like, get into a stance.
He's getting in between you so that he can fight both.
Well, and I don't think we would go to either side. We would probably move to the same side. Like, let's get out of his way and let him go by.
Yeah. Like, the
people
gentleman obviously has prior business.
People are all ass kickers.
Yeah, like these...
They're like, all right, we're gonna throw down. Right
Actually, they must teach you that in whatever school of martial arts all of them went to.
Right.
Everybody
We gotta look at what this martial art is called. I forget.
What's it called? You can look it up.
But
Judo?
Chris Astoria.
I don't know. It's like Taekwondo or something. So
This is a fucking
this
insane
fight scene
fight.
is so crazy.
This is one of the greatest fight scenes
Mad
I've
Dog
ever seen.
versus both brothers.
So
And-
this brother,
and for 3/4 of this fight, Mad Dog is beating the shit out of both of them.
so this brought up something that I think about often when watching action movies, where the best fighter, warrior, whatever, is often the second in command of the bad guy. He's often better than the actual main character.
Oh yeah, the main bad guy, he's not gonna throw down. He's too hoity-toity for that.
Yeah, so here's the thing though.
He's got people for that.
Why is the...
Hoity-toity for that?
Maybe that's not the way to put it.
He's too hoity-toity.
A lot of the time, though, is that the only reason the good guy, the main character, wins the fight is due to, like, an accident or, like...
Stroke of luck.
A stroke of... or a happy coincidence. Like, he just happens to be standing in front of a fire. Like, you know, and then you get to kick him and he falls into the fire. Whatever. Like, and this is...
It takes both of them to barely survive.
to
this
barely survive. And so it's just like, it's not just me. Like, this is pretty common.
Yeah, I think so. It's something you see.
So why do you think that is?
I don't know. Why is it like that? The right hand man is like the.
Why is the
badass?
right hand man the best?
I don't know. He's the one who's delegated the tasks. I guess. I don't know.
Like, think about Ninja Turtles.
I mean, it's not always that way.
Like, in Ninja Turtles,
Sometimes the big bad is.
I know, but I think it makes sense because, like, in real life, that's usually, like, the craziest assassin guys aren't
Yeah, in real life,
bosses.
the
They're
no, it's not
like
the fact. No, it's not.
no,
the
but
fact
like
that
the crazy murderers.
No, it's
they're
not.
usually hitmen for.
I think you're missing my point. It's not the fact that the second in command is not better than the first in command. It's why is the second in command often better than the main character?
Oh, because it has to be like something that was extremely difficult for the main character to overcome.
But he doesn't deserve to overcome it. He only overcomes
Deserve.
it. He often only overcomes it through like dumb luck or cheating,
Or just relentless pursuit of justice. I don't know.
the pursuit of.
Or it's just the second in command is better than the main character because he does this every day.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, okay, so like in Die Hard is Carl, the long blonde-haired guy. He's like the second in command, right? Is he better than Bruce Willis? They have a hand-to-hand fight late in that movie.
I can't remember. You know this movie backwards and forwards, so why don't you tell me?
Well, I think it's arguable that he is supposed to be better, but somehow Bruce Willis beats
How
him.
does Bruce Willis beat him?
Because Bruce Willis is unfuckwithable. No, but I mean, he just can't. He just won't stop. He won't give in. He won't.
I think that this
He won't
episode...
lay down and die.
I think this episode of the podcast, I think we've really come to something, though, where the alternative name for Action is actually Die Hard is the greatest action movie ever. Let's see how the others...
Whoa, that's a spoiler alert.
Let's see how the others stack up. So, I mean, we're always going to compare it to Die Hard.
Well, I mean, it's hard not to compare everything to Die Hard eventually.
Like Die Hard 3,
but is it better than Die Hard?
Die Hard 4.
What?
Which one's Die Hard 4? Which one's Die Hard Russia?
Die Hard 5.
You know, now that I think about it, Die Hard's really kind of turned into Police Academy. It's like Die Hard, like Mission to Moscow.
Oh, maybe the next one will be in Miami.
Yeah, well, I think Mission to Moscow was the last stop.
Well, we can team him up with Will Smith, and he can have like that "Welcome to Miami" song in the movie.
Maybe come back with that?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Get jiggy with it.
Okay. So let's get back on track here.
So anyway.
I don't know. I like this digression.
Okay.
So you want to talk about the Miami?
So we have this amazing fight, which I'm not even going to talk about. It's just amazing, and everybody should just go on YouTube and just watch this fight.
Eventually, they defeat Mad Dog, but it takes some serious work.
It is a holy shit. It's an oh shit moment when he stabs him with a fluorescent bulb in the fucking throat, and he then still
keeps beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, and only through Roma. Is it Roma? Rama. Fucking tearing his throat out.
Yeah,
with the fluorescent bulb
across his throat with the.
Which that bulb would have just crumbled in his hands.
Yeah, okay. Just why you gotta ruin it?
What? I'm just saying.
Okay.
But hey,
Neil deGrasse Tyson, calm down.
Scientific. That's not scientific.
Well, scientifically speaking, actually, the moon was in retrograde at that time, and there would have been no light.
Yes, that is a cool scene.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Oh, you're cool with it?
I'll let it go.
Okay.
So anyway,
for the film, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's really the end of the movie.
Well, okay, so the lieutenant guy and the one nobody cop, they finally get to
nobody cop
to the big boss, and he's like tells the young cop, cuff him, and while he's doing that, then he immediately shoots the young cop in the face.
It's like, I fucking hate this guy. They do a really good job of making you fucking hate him.
Yeah, the
captain, because these people, his men.
Yes, that
he's brought into this hell.
And gotten them all killed except for one.
Yeah,
or two, I guess.
They died protecting him, and then he just executes.
So yeah, and then while he's bringing them down the stairs,
they run into Rama and Jaka.
Yeah, but as they're going down the stairs, the boss talks about how I guess there's like this group or this like board or something.
I'm guessing it's like another syndicate or something.
Yeah, like you'll never be one of them.
At the top with these guys.
Oh, maybe it's what it is. Maybe it's like a cabal of like politicians and government
city officials,
officials and police and stuff like that.
And he's just like, you'll never be.
Yeah, he thought that taking out this guy would get him in good standing with somebody, obviously.
Yeah.
So did he do this completely, like, on his own? Like,
I don't know. No, because there must have been a plan, because this guy says that he got a call telling him that they would be coming.
So
the boss.
Was it an elaborate plan for somebody else to take out the captain?
Well, that seems pretty elaborate.
Okay, I think the plot kind of falls apart at this point.
Well, there's not much plot.
No, I think that this part of the plot kind of just like doesn't make any sense. I'm
yes.
sure
could be the
that
translation
somebody listening
Could be
is like,
translated.
you're a fucking idiot. It's so obvious.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
maybe.
we're all
But I've watched
morons,
it.
but-
I've watched it a few times, and it's not super clear what's exactly is happening. He's either been hired by a rival gang, or he thought that doing this would get him some sort of promotion within the corrupt officials of
Yeah.
the local.
But then he realizes that basically they want him dead or something.
his life is going to be forfeit. He's not. There's no way he's
Yeah.
going to live after
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So then he shoots and kills the boss.
Yeah.
And then he tries to kill himself,
The
but he's out of
bullets,
bullets.
yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
You dummy.
And they couldn't kill him because he's a fucking pathetic piece of shit.
Well, and also, Rama's by the book. He'd rather arrest that fucker.
Is Rama by the book?
Well, he is. Yeah.
Unless you attack him, then
He's
he'll
so-
kill you.
Yeah, just don't attack him. Then he won't slash your throat open.
Yeah.
Well, all they had to do was just like run at him then, and it would have been death by cop.
Okay, but he's in a situation where if he doesn't kill all of these guys, they're gonna kill him.
No. I'm saying if the captain just ran at Rama,
Yeah.
it would be death by cop.
Then he would have been like, pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, he would have had a fucking knife upside his head.
Yeah, I guess
He wouldn't have seen that shit coming.
Steady arrests him, takes him in.
I swear, some of those dudes
He's
that
like,
he
hey,
fights get
it's my
stabbed.
first day, I got a bust. Come back
Yeah.
come back to the precinct or whatever.
But some of the guys that
Hey,
Rama
what's the
stabbed...
rest of your team? Oh, they're all fucking dead. All of them. All
Well,
of them.
actually, there's
Except for this one dude.
there is a part where they show, once again, horror movie style. Rama looks out the window and he sees men just like being dragging cops into a pile.
Into a pile.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah,
I guess.
a lot of deaths. I guess. And so then basically at the end the brothers are like, well, guess we're going our own ways. I'm going back to being a cop. You're gonna be the new boss, maybe? To buildings?
Brothers forever.
Yeah, but wait, is he gonna have to come back and bust his brother later?
Here's the thing, Dustin. Do you have a brother? Because this seems like standard fare to me. No, this is fucking
It's like
crazy.
a little fist bump and
This is
Yeah.
nuts.
catch you later.
I'm not gonna stop trying to get you. I wouldn't expect anything else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, brother.
Yeah.
They should have just fucking.
That's basically
They should have just high fived. There should have been like the screen should have spun and then the credit should have rolled.
Yeah.
And now I don't remember in the sequel. Is Rama in it again?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I never saw the
Yeah.
sequel.
I saw
Oh,
the sequel
man.
once, and I don't really remember it that
So I've
well.
seen the sequel one time. I don't remember very well. I remember I liked it.
Yeah.
I remember the trailer vividly though,
Oh, yeah.
where it starts off with him in prison.
Right, as a prison.
It's just him, and he's just punching a wall. And he's just punching a wall. And yeah. So he starts he's in prison undercover to take down Indonesians' baddies. Jakarta's
I'm gonna
baddies.
watch it again at some point.
Yeah,
We
I
might-
haven't seen
we
it.
might
I do
watch it
remember
for
that
lunch.
it's that I think the director Gareth Evans. I feel like he was like, okay, now I'm gonna make a good movie.
I think that I think he wanted to make a much more stylized.
Yeah, I mean, it looks way better. I remember that.
yeah, it is much
More budget.
It's slower.
It is slower. It's more story.
Yeah.
More like actual like sort of mafia like crime story to it, as
Yeah.
I recall.
Yeah.
So the second one, how they got the funding for the second one is they sold the North American rights to the first one for a remake.
Oh, okay.
And that's why there's all these rumors about a remake, a
Oh.
North American version.
Arthur?
Yeah. And there's like a whole bunch of people tied to
You know who should be in it?
rumors.
Will Smith's kid. That little weirdo.
That little weirdo.
That little
He
weirdo.
could say like haikus to people before he punches them in
Yeah.
the throat or whatever.
Pretty much anyone and everyone has been,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Like who?
I don't want to see an American remake of this movie.
Fuck that.
Like Tom Hardy,
No.
Colin Farrell,
No.
I mean,
Hugh Jackman,
Okay, I'll say this.
Jeremy Renner.
I'll say this: if they do remake it, and Tom Hardy's in it, I'll watch it. But
Yeah, I don't watch anything with Tom Hardy in it.
But I don't want to see this movie.
By the way, no, they can't make it. They can't make these kind of movies. North America doesn't do these
what are they
movies
gonna
very
do?
well. They're going to make them.
They're not going to do martial arts. They're going to have Tom Hardy doing fucking crazy martial arts moves. So
No,
what the fuck are they
they'll
going to
make
do?
him a fucking giant beast who's just going to like fucking run through and just like clobber people.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
They could bring back Jim Cotta or Gun Cotta.
Gun Kata? Yeah.
They also talked about
I don't want to see it.
who's the guy that plays Thor.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Oh my
He has a brother.
fucking god.
He's a handsome man.
Tom Hiddle? No, that's his brother in the movie.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, the two of them.
PETA?
Oh, the two of them.
Fucking PETA?
He's not PETA, is he? He's the other one.
I don't.
He's the other love interest, not PETA. Oh god, why do I know that? Anyway.
He's the other. I don't know. I watched the first movie. I read the book. I like the books. The movies were whatever.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, anyway.
Best action sequence.
here's
All of them. Every fucking one.
I don't know. I think that the best
Probably
action.
the fight.
The
between
sequence
three.
is. I mean, I don't think anything holds a candle to the final fight in the steel door room.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to say that's.
If there's one move though, if there's one like move that like gets me, it's that where he jumps and he grabs that guy by the back of the head and slams his head into the jagged door.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other one you brought up was pretty killer too, and he throws that guy onto that railing.
I don't know. I like that sequence where it's all dark and then they get lit up.
Yeah.
That sequence was really cool.
That's a pretty good sequence.
My wolves not
So
wolves
let's
sequence.
just go back to what I said in the first place, which is every fucking one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
if
then,
you haven't seen this movie and you like fucking action movies, what are you doing with your life?
so then best kill.
well.
I mean, it's
He
kind
just
of
said it.
So the doorway.
I think the doorway kill is the best. I think the light bulb kill is really cool,
Yeah.
but it's the culmination of a whole bunch of other stuff. As far as just like when I think of like the best kill, it's got to be like a quick.
Yeah.
There's one. I forgot to talk about this. There's one part when he grabs a guy and he fucking. There's throughout the whole movie. There's those circular lights that are about like shoulder height in all the hallways. Did you notice that? Okay.
No.
So in all the hallways, there's these like circular. They're not light, but like
like on the wall.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this one guy. He fucking slams. I think he leg slams him into a wall, and then he continues to slam his head.
Oh yeah, all the way down the
all
wall.
the way down
boom,
the
boom,
wall.
Boom, 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 like he's dribbling a basketball down the wall.
That fucking guy.
So do you have a guess on body count?
Okay, let me take a guess. I'm gonna guess 203.
Whoa. I would have said like 100.
So 203 and 100.
203.
Okay, but there's gotta be at least like there's gotta be at least 20 cops that get killed.
Yeah, 200's a lot, man.
Dude, there's a part when Machete Gang is walking through, and there are bodies on top of bodies, and there's like this. There's like splashing people's throats. I don't know, what's the total?
121.
121.
got that one.
I'm the closest I've gone over.
Yeah.
Well, James didn't say it. Oh, I guess James looked it up.
So
What's your guess, James?
121.
Holy shit.
I don't think that it's really fair to have like a best line.
Yeah, it's not really a
Because I don't feel like anything can.
centric movie.
Well, it's
I
not
think
even
the
that.
best line is the pulling a trigger is like ordering takeout. That to me is the best line.
I don't know. I feel like every time I watch these movies that are like with translation, I feel like there's something lost.
Oh, sure, I'm sure, yeah.
Like I bet you things are so much more fucking badass.
Yeah.
No. Anything else?
Well, normally we would do like actors that turn down the role, but
Right.
there is none.
I want to hear a list. Do you have a list in front of you of all the actors that have been rumored to be?
Yeah.
Give it to me.
In the remake.
In the remake.
Okay, if I can pronounce them all correctly.
Okay, want me to do it?
Sure.
Okay, let's take a look here.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
All right, we got.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's rumored in everything.
So we got Taylor Kitsch,
Yeah.
Riggins. I love Riggins.
I love Riggins. I don't know if I love Taylor Kitsch.
Do you see Taylor Kitsch as... What the fuck did I just see? He just... Oh,
Battleship?
no.
Did you see that?
Taylor...
John Carter from
No,
Mars.
no. So they made a Waco miniseries. Where he plays David. He plays David Koresh.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Have you seen the picture of him though?
No. Stay on topic.
Anyway, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't know who that is. Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
He's just gonna call people bitch the entire time.
Just shot you, bitch.
Luke Bracey.
I don't know who that is.
Tom Hardy, Michael Fassbender, Colin Farrell, Hugh Jackman, Jeremy Renner, Garrett Hudlin,
So like everybody.
Jai Courtney, Henry Cavill. Is that
Who's Jai-
Jesus?
No, Henry Cavill's Superman.
Oh,
Who's Jai Courtney again?
I have no idea.
Fucking click on the motherfucker.
I
Click.
It's okay. Jai Courtney. Jack O'Connell? I don't know who that is. Chris Pine, Chris Pratt.
Chris.
Oh my god. Can you imagine Chris Pratt?
Chris Pine, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth.
You know what they should do?
Chris Evans.
They should remake this movie with Chris Pratt just so they are like, well, let's never do this again. This was horrible. And I like Chris Pratt, but come on.
Well, this just seems like everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty much just
Sam
take everyone.
Clifton, Luke Evans, Ryan Reynolds, fucking Bradley, Mark Wahlberg,
Luke Perry.
Joel Edgerton, Jake Gyllenhaal, and John Barenthal.
John Barenthal.
Who's that?
That's the Punisher.
Oh.
Yeah. What's going on there, Jai Courtney?
Make it with H. John Benjamin.
This is your fucking head.
That's where it should go.
I would watch that.
Hey, guys.
Okay, well.
What was the character? What was the actor? Jai Courtney?
Jai, whatever. Jai Paul.
Oh. Where's the Jai Paul album that we were all promised like 5 years ago?
It's like Chinese democracy.
Except for this is going to be amazing.
Did you listen to
He's
Chinese
from
democracy?
He's from Suicide Squad, Terminator Genesis, Divergent,
You're
Good
not
Day
giving
to
me a face.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
I need a
He
face.
looks like an asshole.
Oh, that guy. He's Bruce Willis' son in the Die Hard 5. Ah, fuck that guy.
All right.
Well,
Cool.
so I think that's pretty much it, except for we need to know what movie we're doing next.
Okay.
Oh, and we gotta... Where does it land on the list?
Where does it land?
Oh, yeah, the whole premise of the fucking podcast? Yeah, we gotta do that.
Right.
Fuck. I think I should start really thinking about this before.
I thought about it.
Okay, you give me yours.
I think... fuck, it's a tough one. Like, part of me wants to put it at number 1.
I really like the camera work. I really like the direction.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
it's
I mean, the characters, they're super thin.
I mean, I do feel like, even though the plot is like super convoluted and hard boiled, I do feel like there's more of a decent plot in that movie compared to this. But on the other hand, this movie has a very simple plot, so it's kind of hard to fuck up, right? Like, there's not.
I think honestly, I think it's really easy. I think I just read a list of easy ways you can fuck that up.
What, you don't want Chris Pratt?
I want to talk about this for 1 second. The reason that North America can't make movies like this is because they always want to put some gigantic, muscle-bound person in the role of the main character.
Yeah, that, or like, oh, we gotta have a fucking love story in there. Where's the love story?
I'm not saying it's the love story.
Yeah, he loves his wife.
But they even put that
That's
in.
all you need.
Yeah, well, they did.
She's at home being a good wife.
Yeah, brotherly love.
Well, she's pregnant. What's
He's out
she
there.
gonna do? Is she gonna like fucking ride whip with
They
him?
showed her kicking some ass.
Yeah, North American version would.
So anyway, they just can't. They can't do it because the only person in there that would fit the body size that I knew of the main character in this movie would be Aaron Paul, and no one's gonna believe that Aaron Paul is
Eat anybody up?
No. Aaron Paul would die in the first 15 minutes. Aaron Paul would die on the way to the raid.
You got a point.
Let's get into how we rate it, starting with the plot.
So I gave the plot a 6.
I give it a 5 because, I don't know, it's a pretty thin plot.
I don't know, I gave it a 7. I thought it was a pretty good plot.
I mean, it's pretty basic.
Yeah, but it's really tight, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's
not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying there's not much to it.
Yeah.
It works for what it is.
It's a simple plot.
I give it
is
6.
Kind of what you're saying, right?
It works for what it's meant to do.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Action kills.
Action kills.
Action kills.
Action does kill. As proven by this movie, which I gave a 10 to.
Yeah, I gave it 9.
I also give it 10 out of 10 for action.
Some kinetic shit.
It's hard to get much better action-wise.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Like at the beginning, it's slow. Obviously, it's kind of building up to the moment when they actually get into the building. And then...
It's only like 15 minutes, though.
Yeah, and then it's like as soon as they get in, it's just non-stop.
Yeah, pretty much.
Action.
So that leads to pacing, which I also gave a 10.
Yeah, I gave it 10.
I gave it a 9. Yeah.
Not a lot of fat on that.
Yeah, no.
It hums along.
Yeah, definitely.
Quotes and tropes?
Quotes and tropes.
6.
6.
I think, I also gave it 6. Not the quotes, not too many memorable quotes, but overall effective use of action tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the brother being the
Yeah.
Yeah.
The brother being...
the right hand, or I guess...
The evil cop.
Yeah, the
evil
bad cop, the unstoppable henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And final reaction was a 9.
Yeah, mine was a 9 too.
Yeah, me as well.
So overall, it's a 8.1.
Yeah, 8.1 out of 10.
Yeah. Which I think is pretty fair, which puts it number 1.
Yeah, puts
So
it number 1 on
still,
our
it
list.
stays
right
number
now,
1.
So, yeah.
Awesome.